Sun is out. Hello and happy Sunday. I'm Kiana Sage for another video. This is December 1st. This is the Being in Sync 366 video series. That means we have 31 days left in the series, and there will be 366 videos to help you align to the natural laws. That there are videos on physical wellness, mental, emotional, spiritual. All of them are practices to align you to the natural laws. And yeah, it's been an interesting ride. Today, there is just over 2,500 members that have subscribed to this channel to become aligned with the natural laws. It's a small community. Not everybody is in alignment with the natural laws. And why is that? You know, it's a practice. It is a practice, and nobody could do it for you. You are your own healer. And I created this series primarily to be in service to humanity in a different way, where people can anonymously align to the natural laws without any judgment or questions, just information that's of integrity. You either take what works for you or leave the rest behind. The notifications for this channel sometimes go out, sometimes they don't, but we will see who shows up today. We are talking about embodiment. And I'm going to start with a question in the poll. So I'm just going to go to the poll here as people start to come in. Hello, hello. I'm going to go silent here and I'm going to put a question in. Okay. All right. So we're starting with a question. Let's see who joins us today. And the question is, do you know what embodiment is? And we'll see who, we'll wait about 5 minutes and then see who comes in. It's a little bit sunny today. Hello, hello, we'll see. No, you do not know what embodiment is. All right, well, are you on the spiritual journey? If you are, then this will be very, very important, because embodiment is fundamental to your actual blueprint, your DNA. What is my favorite word? My name, Kiana. Took me a second, but my name is my favorite word. When people say my name, it sounds like the best song I've ever heard. Kiana, Tony. How much do you like to, oh, okay, so here we go. We don't have a mod in the chat yet. Hopefully we will soon. Hey, Kush, good to see you. We're talking about embodiment. I know you will have some good questions or contributions. This is, I do not subscribe to any formal traditional religion. No, I follow the natural laws. That is how energy runs. That is how all patterns run. They follow the rhythm of the natural laws. So no, I do not subscribe to any dogmatic religion or traditional medical philosophies. I am a high proponent of critical thinking and listening to within. Hey, Jerry, good to see you here. Good to see you. It's been a while. Okay, if you spam the chat, you're going to get deleted no matter what you say. Okay? And hopefully we've had some wonderful mods come in and help out. Hopefully today we'll get one as we're waiting the 5 minutes before we start talking about this topic of embodiment. And it's really fundamental to the spiritual evolution, but we'll see what you all think about embodiment. People always ask me about religion. And I think, there are many paths to God. I am not one who ascribes to traditional religions. I was raised Catholic, and I would say that it didn't resonate with me from day one. Although I like being around people who like having meaningful conversations. But I found that with triathletes as well. So it just depends. See the chats. I see the chats. I can't see all of them because the sun is in my face. But, okay, it's just about 5 minutes here, and I want to go ahead. Hey, Greg, good to see you here. It doesn't look like we have a mod yet that showed up, so let's just pay attention to the content and not so much the ridiculousness that we know. Oh, hey, you're back. Wait, I can't even see it. Existentialist or existentialist? Existent. I'm just going to call you X. Can I call you X? Okay, you all, we're talking about embodiment today. And this topic came up in a session with one of my clients this last week. And so I wanted to bring it up here, but it kept on getting pushed back because another topic was more important and another topic was more important. Then, they're all important, Let me see if I can move now that the sun is moving. Move my camera. There we go. All right. The sun has moved, so it's not covering the entire space as it was earlier. Okay, I shall begin. So embodiment is fundamental to your DNA. So we all come into this life, this world, and we're born in with this DNA. We're human. And when we have this DNA, there are aspects that get activated. And in order for certain things to be activated, it's kind of like a series of, I don't want to say a pyramid, but it's like things that click with one into another. I don't know what that's called, but you understand what I'm saying. Hey, Peter. When we are embodying aspects of our divinity, aspects of our beingness that is in alignment with our divine blueprint, it corrects patterns in the morphogenetic field. What are we embodying matters because we want to embody in alignment with the natural laws, right? So a lot of people have embodied ways of being and behaving and thinking that are incongruent. So when we are embodying higher aspects of frequencies, embodying higher ways of being, it activates higher levels of consciousness. So embodiment of higher frequencies, higher ways of being, let's just say embodiment of your divine will. As you are embodying those aspects within you, it shifts on how you are perceiving. It shifts on how you relate. It shifts in how you physically feel, and it will cause some type of, usually what's called ascension symptoms. And I'm just going to delete the spam. And hey, nobody, we don't have a mod today. Thank you for being here, and if you're cussing Jax, you're going to be put in timeout. So when you're embodying these higher qualities, let's just say your divine will, you will really start to repattern the morphogenetic field. So every aspect of your field influences another. It's just like your physical well-being influences your emotional well-being, and vice versa, and mental, physical, and mental, emotional, and then your spiritual. So people leave out their spiritual all the time, but your spiritual body is where all your vulnerabilities for mental and emotional and physical well-being are. And most people are so focused on their physical well-being that they miss that everything begins in the spiritual. That's why you want to begin to embody higher aspects of being. Embody your values. What is it that you truly value? You want to do that, and you want to make it part of who you are. When you are in full embodiment of something, you can grow into another aspect. You don't stay focused on the same thing. You evolve and grow. And this is kind of where I got into a discussion with a client, is that just because you have values, if they have become embodied, that means they have become a natural aspect of who you are. You have fully activated it, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, through all of the layers. When you have done that, that's embodiment. Then you evolve and you focus on something else. Okay? So, sorry, I'm just putting somebody in timeout. Please do not spam the chat. It's quite distracting. Okay, so now that we know that we're impacting every layer of our field with these embodiments, what happens is this embodiment is going to enmesh with everything about who you are, and it's part of you. And then when that occurs, you start to have an increase in inner coherence. Inner coherence is what we're going for with alignment, right? For being in alignment is about inner coherence. That means there's less interference and it becomes more clear from within. So then when you have greater inner coherence, you can go into what's called direct knowingness. There is less interference because you have this inner coherence, and then you can process at a higher level of consciousness. It's not the same as doubting yourself all the time. You won't feel as much insecurity, doubt, fear. Those things of lower vibrations start to fade away, and your knowingness and your self-assuredness, your direct relationship becomes the foundation in which everything is built. Not from the outside in, you build from the inside out. That's what embodiment is. And as you, hey Mike, good to see you here. As you really embody these higher levels, these higher ways of being, your values, for example, and I'm going to give you just a really short story about values. And I've told this one before, but it's so simple and easy. When you have values, and I will say that I have worked with some military members in the past, and I had a sailor that was obese and was stressed out because he had to take the physical test, and there's no way he was going to pass it because he was out of shape. So he was trying to figure out what he was going to do. And I just said, what do you value? And then he rattled off the values of the Navy: honor, courage, commitment, of which he had embodied none of them. He knew them off his top of his head. He knew to say them, but he didn't embody them. How do I know he didn't embody it? Because it wasn't showing up in his world. Honor, courage, and commitment. That's something, those are really your values, which they were what he said they were. And I question him, how are those your values when you have not, when you have physical illness, disabilities, you can't walk around without assistance, you're struggling mentally, emotionally. So how are you honoring your body? How are you honoring your word? How are you committed to your wellness? I mean, he just was not embodying his values. Now, He ended up getting out of the Navy, of course, because he wasn't in alignment. He wasn't in alignment with the values, but he was fully operational as incongruent. Now, he is not an anomaly. He is what the typical average American is. And why is that? Because people are checked out and they are so into their thoughts that they have not. Okay, somebody is, if you're spamming the chat, please stop. I'm going to have to put you in timeout. I'm sorry. When you are embodying your values, let's just use honor. That means you're honoring your relationship with yourself. You're honoring yourself through your food that you're eating. You're honoring yourself in how you take care of yourself. You're learning self-love. You are looking at how to honor yourself in relationship to others, so that others do not override your own honoring. It's a yes and, not an either or. So I thought that was a simple thing. So if he had embodied his values, I would say, well, we need to choose some new values so you can embody at the next level. It doesn't mean that you don't still honor yourself. It is a part of who you are. It's a part of your direct knowing. Then you expand. You don't stay the same. We do not want to stay the same. That's why going out of your comfort zone is important, because we want to evolve. We want to grow. We want to expand in consciousness. We can't do that if we haven't done embodiment. Embodying the higher levels of consciousness is fundamental to expansion in consciousness. Okay, so what do y'all have to say about that? Just going to check the chat here. Oh, hey, South African boys, good to see you here. I'm so appreciative of your sharing and your participation and letting us all know. I'd be interested in hearing how you're doing. Thank you. Hi, Ankush, Jerry, thank you for being here. I just really, hey, MD and Greg and Ava. Yes, a person on the internet says like a chain reaction. Yes, that's very much how it is. So thank you for simplifying it. I try to simplify these concepts for everybody. Oh, thank you, nobody. It's good to see you in here. Help the algorithms. I know, Ajax, no mod. I know it's get crazy in here. Nobody is asking, Kiana, what are your thoughts on Reiki? I will be 100% honest with you, nobody. I have never worked with a Reiki person. It's not ever something that's resonated with me. I've never done energy with a person who does Reiki. I do have clients who are like Reiki masters, they call it, because I guess it's got some type of hierarchy. But I personally I have no personal, well, how do I say this? I have a knowing of some of the language that they use. I have a familiarity with like the violent flame and stuff like that. But I'm self-taught in how I run energy in that regard. And so I have not had any formal training on Reiki, although I do have lots of clients who have tried Reiki, and I do have some Reiki master clients. But to me, I don't even know what that means. To them, it means something. I mean, they put it in everything. So it must work very much out as something people are very proud of. I'm just not familiar. Hey, Dr. Kraken is back. All right. Embodiment is the topic today. Ajax, you can go away. Take what resonates. Ajax is in coherence. Homeostasis is what's your question about homeostasis? That's when everything's operating at higher, that's when everything is operating as it should. But we know that we've been, infiltrated by lots of things that are inorganic. Can you simplify your jargon? I don't, am I talking at a high level? I really think I am simplifying it. What part of the language do you not understand? Hey, Mike, good to see you back here. Nobody's asking a good question. What are your thoughts on SRIs and serotonin uptake? So let me say this. I'm not a doctor or a therapist. I am not a proponent of medical interventions unless they are emergencies. I think a lot of people are taking these SSRIs or these pharmaceutical grade medicines, and they don't really fully understand, nor have they questioned the long-term impacts of that. So what I would say is I'm not a proponent of them. Anything that is taking you out of yourself, that is rewiring your natural propensities for spiritual evolution, I'm not a fan of. I will say that of my clients, and you can go on here on YouTube, I have worked with clients to help them get off of their medicines so they don't have withdrawal. And it's been highly successful. I found that a lot of people who are on the medicines are more in fear about getting off of them because they might have to, they might feel anxiety or something. So they're basically in fear of going backwards. I do not think you go backwards, but I do have an understanding from my experience that when people are taking medications for emotional situations like anxiety or nervousness or nervous system overactivation, that type of thing, they often get stunted emotionally at the state they were in when they started the medicine. So therefore, the emotional intelligence needs, there needs to be some tools put in place so they can, they won't struggle. It's a struggle for most people because most people don't think that when they're taking a medicine that they're getting emotionally stunted. But you have to understand, let's just say you have a trauma and you're struggling with how to contend with your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of that trauma. And you take the medicine and you just kind of keep moving through life, but you haven't healed. So there's still the healing that needs to occur when you're off of the medicines. So I have a program that I offered called the Peace Program, which, by the way, my Peace Program and my Radiant Power Program will be going away this year. And that program, I address the spinning of the mind, because that's usually what people struggle with the most. And the reason why people struggle is because they don't have mental discipline. But when you take the racing and pacing out, you can get still and reconnect within, and that's the inner congruence. So hopefully that helps. So my thoughts are, do your best to not go outside yourself, nobody, and to find real practical tools that are grounded in you dictating your nervous system, not a medication. These medications also leave what's called imprints in your field. So even though you stop taking the medicine, if you haven't addressed the imprints, there's going to be residue. And so you need to address those as well. On Kush says, to me, embodiment signifies the interplay between the body and our emotional and existential awareness. That's your word, existential. Particularly in the era of technology, often alienates from our corporal selves. Well, I think that technology just magnifies the vulnerability that already exists. So most people have vulnerabilities, but they don't know it. But these AI components know it because they know you better than you know yourself. That is a problem. Just looking to see what local motion is asking, what is embodiment? I just went over what embodiment is. In one fell swoop, embodiment, you can go back to the beginning, but it's really about, embodiment is really about integrating a higher level of inner coherence with components that activate your divine blueprint, which directly connect you to your direct knowing. How can the notion of embodiment bridge the bridge between the somatic experiences and emotional well-being in the age of digital dominance? Well, I don't think embodiment is a notion, it's an experience. So how could your experience, I don't really understand your question here, Ankush. How can the notion of embodiment bridge the divide? Embodiment is creating inner harmony, inner congruence. So it is the merging. So there is no polarization within. And the age of digital dominance, that seems like a weird question to me, but I'm just going to say this. You know, the digital aspects for people, what makes it so dangerous is that so many people are not utilizing, they're not using their thinking. They're not thinking. They're not thinking about how their decisions are impacting their long-term well-being. They think that one thing doesn't impact another. So I think that there just needs to be more critical thinking. Is energy work considered witchcraft? Hannah, it depends who you're talking to. I don't know. I mean, most people don't even know what witchcraft or demonic energy or black magic is. So Hannah, how do you know that you're not already influenced by witchcraft? I don't think energy is witchcraft because energy is everything. So, I mean, I think that just goes, that question is a very honest question, but it just goes to show how the natural laws have been manipulated so people don't even understand that everything is energy. Absolutely everything is energy. And when you're working in integrity and you're guiding people back to themselves, that's congruent with the natural laws. That's not witchcraft. People who are doing witchcraft are running black magic. The natural laws, there's nothing dark about the natural laws as far as how your energy field works. Everything is running in patterns. If you go to the doctor and you have heart problems, he's going to run an EKG. Why? Because you're an electromagnetic body. Everything is running off of the patterns of your electromagnetic field. If you're incongruent, it's going to show up in that heart monitor. Why do they do that? Are they running black magic? Maybe. Probably. A lack of embodiment equals sickness and a lack of happiness. Greg, that's an interesting question. I would say a lack of spiritual awareness, a lack of spiritual alignment. People don't understand that there's spiritual immunity, and that spiritual immunity is what creates vitality. But so if you are disconnected from your spiritual aspects, will you get sick? Probably, it's likely. Why? Because most illnesses are running parasitic energy, and parasitic energy is going to start in the spiritual field, in the spiritual bodies first. So that's why you want to really make sure you have that direct connection within. If you have a value of, let's just say your value was vitality. So how do you get more vitality? How do you get more energy, more life force? Well, that's not going to just be by the foods you eat. It's going to be, are the foods that you eat, are they alive? Because we know that oxygen and vitality, those all go hand in hand. And if you're taking in oxygen, you're not going to be as sick. That's why when I recommend the breathing, I recommend that 2 breaths in and exhale out, because that's going to bring in more oxygen. When you have more oxygen in your systems, you're going to have less stress. Do most people breathe properly? No. So Greg, I'm going to say that I do agree that there is most people who do not have a spiritual connection, they're not really happy. You know, they're the same ones that are posting all their pictures of their personal life on these social media platforms, and they're also very insecure. They're also very connected to lower frequencies, but they're imposter energy, so they think they're higher because they're in their heads, they're not feeling. Embodiment, Greg, is allowing you to get more sensory and interpret it. Let me see. Will metabolism decrease if we don't sleep at night? Sleep is really important to not just metabolism, but all of how you were operating, period. So sleep is crucial. Almost every client that comes to me says that they are having trouble sleeping. And then usually after the first session, I get a message saying, I slept so good last night. So sleep is paramount. And when we become more conscious and access higher levels of consciousness, we become more, we can rest at more with greater ease. I guess if that makes sense. Hannah says, yes, I'm on meds and I'm getting off meds and it's scary. Yeah, Hannah, it can be scary, but this is really something to prepare for, not to be scared, but how are you modifying your behavior so you are prepared to be off of the medication? Because so the doctor's not going to prepare you for being off the medicine. So Hannah, what behaviors are you putting in place now so you're stronger and you can manage better than when you got on the medicine? That is really where you want to focus your energy, not on the fear, but on strength, because you have great inner strength. Austin is saying, what's the general topic and discussion of this channel? We are always talking, Austin, in general terms about the natural laws of how energy really works. And today's topic is embodiment. Greg is saying, I also have a medical question. I'm not a doctor, y'all. I'm just very intuitive. But I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I don't know all the correct words that I pick up on when I'm doing energy work. But do I know what methane blue is? Yes, I do. I love learning about biology and I love learning about health. I have followed alternative health since I was a little kid. And I've never really liked going to the doctor, but that's just me. I found when I was having an emergency situation that the doctors really didn't know what the hell they were talking about. So I don't trust that most doctors. And I say use your critical thinking. Use your critical thinking. If something they're telling you doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. So you go find somebody who does make sense, and you keep going until you find somebody who makes sense, not somebody who peer pressures you into something that doesn't make sense. Marvin is saying environment is to understand the inner being and the universe embodiment. Austin, I'm on here every day for this Being in Sync 366 video series. Everything I talk about is about repatterning physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies, all in alignment with the natural laws. How do we become our own healers? Can you tell us simple habits in daily life which move us from low vibration to high vibration? First of all, self-awareness. What behaviors do you have that need to be changed? How frequently are you going out of your comfort zone? What are your top 5 values? I mean, these are things that I say in almost every video. And every video, somebody asks me, how do I raise my vibration? You must embody practices that lift you up. And if you don't have your values written down, you're not honoring them, you're not embodying them, you're not practicing them, then you're going to be easily manipulated. Oh, hey, Gil, you're in Wisconsin. I have clients in Wisconsin. You're not the only one who's practicing these in the natural laws in Wisconsin. Gil. So good to have you here. There's a lot of negative energy, but as you resonate differently. So, you know, don't lose hope. Just bring in the light wherever you go. There's negative stuff everywhere. So don't focus on the negative or you'll get more of it. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying. So 50-50 know what embodiment is. So embodiment is fundamental to you really operating at your highest level. So if you have not embodied kindness, for example, there was a guy that came on here a couple months ago who said he had trouble dating and he didn't know how. Everybody said he was abrupt and not very nice. So he came on here and said that, and I said, just practice kindness. Just be kind to the people that you're dating. Find nice things to say about them. Be kind. Embody kindness. If you are embodying kindness, you're on the right path for repatterning your morphogenetic field. If you are somebody that thinks that everybody's unkind and all you see is negativity, guess what? You're going to magnify that. So when you embody kindness, you will start seeing how kind, compassionate, loving people are. And then you'll start to bring them into your field. Everything is resonance. I'm just looking at the questions here in the chat here. Thank you, Austin. It's good to have you here. I do these lives every day. Rakesh, know your 5 primary values. That's the biggest lesson. Spiritual connection. Can I tell it in simple terms? Yeah, connect with your heart. Are you fully, totally, completely connected to your heart? Is your heart driving your decisions or is your thinking? If you have a deep connection spiritually, your spiritual heart connection will be the driver of your behaviors. That's a true spiritual connection. It's not something you think, it's something you feel and connect with within. On Kush, in what ways does embodiment reshape our understanding of intelligence? and the cognitive process beyond traditional frameworks. Okay, in what way does embodiment reshape? Well, the interesting thing here is on Kush, it's not something that you're going to be able to pinpoint because you're actually changing how your light bodies, which most people don't have an understanding of, how your spidey senses, if you will, is going to resonate. That's how embodiment will change. It's going to change your field of resonance. And I don't know a field of traditional frameworks that are talking about your light body. There's no traditional method that is rooted in the medical system, psychological, psychiatrists, psychologists, anything where you're getting paid by insurance that's going to be addressing the spiritual bodies and or your light bodies, because they don't support that congruent connection, as far as I understand here in the United States. Hello, Russia. I don't think Russia is good or bad. I think humanity, we're all one. And I think that politics has created a divide and conquer for most people, and I don't subscribe to that. We're all here, and we're all here on a soul journey. We're all learning different lessons, and some of them are, I will just say none of them are easy, but we're here to do our best. Hi, Eric. Good to see you here. Hello. Hope you are doing well, feeling better, had a good Thanksgiving. I am doing good. I'm enjoying my Sunday. Thank you. And today's December 1st, Eric. We have 31 more days on this series, my friend. Eric, I think you may have been here the longest. And do you know we're at 2,500 subscribers? I think when I started the series, I was at little under 300, so 200 and something. So what questions do you all have? Hey, Alexis, good to see you here. What questions do you all have about embodiment? If 50% of you know what it is and 50% of you don't, that means that 50% of you are not operating totally in your divine blueprint. Money OG says he's going to report me. I have no idea what you would be reporting me for. I'm not a doctor or a therapist. I'm not giving any medical advice. Did I say a cuss word? How to learn, Dr. Krakens, how to learn more about physicology and connection. I'm not sure I even know what physicology is. Psychology? I don't know. Rakesh is saying, I don't know how, but you are the first person with so much mental clarity. Healing you makes me feel calm and grounded. Thank you, Rakesh, for being here and sharing that. I'm so happy that you're feeling calm and grounded. Yes, Matt, Peter, and Eric, they're not here, and either is Sailor's Life, Eric. It's just me and you. Lucas, no, you don't need to send me money. I do these for free. Do I look like a horse trainer? I work with horses, but I'm not a trainer. Hello, Argentina. Thanks, Eric. Alexis, you're not ignored, I'm just getting to the question here. Oh no, I skipped your question. I don't know how that happened. Okay, let me go back. I see hey there. I didn't see a question. Did it get held for review, Alexis? I'm just going back. I saw where you said hello. But I don't see a question for you here from you. Can you post it again? Sorry about that. Alexis, can you post it again? Because I just went back and it's not there. Eric is saying, hello. No, I'm not single. I'm married, happily married. Coming up, it's been 12 years since I met my husband and almost 10 years since we've been married. Alexis, I'm just waiting for you to repost your question. Thank you, Lucas. Let's see. What do you do on here? Today we're talking about embodiment, and we're talking about embodiment and the natural laws. Lucas is saying, if you were my wife, I would always be stimulated. Do I have a sister? I do have a sister. She's married, and you know, whatever. Okay, Alexis, did we lose you? Okay, any questions about embodiment? If not, I can jump off. We're at about 46 minutes here. We're getting ready for the holidays. Hey, Jerry is saying, are you the embodiment on modern strong woman? I don't even know how to answer that, Jerry. Modern strong woman. I don't even know how to answer that. I would say my goal is to embody, like really, I'm so direct. I focus on embodying more of the softer ways of being. Those don't come natural to me, so it's been something I've really had to learn, and that means not speaking my opinion all the time. But I don't know, Jerry, you tell me, am I? Can you change your times to a little earlier or post-evening in the U.S. so I don't have to be live in midnight? Rakesh, I only have 31 days left of this series, but I did do a survey for the times, and when I come on early, nobody joins, hardly anybody joins, and when I come on later, I'm not at my best. So I'm so sorry. The latest I'm doing is like 4 p.m., and I don't even know what time that is in India. But I've tried to modify that the last month. I will try. What is the best age to get married, and how do you know you're ready? The best age to get married is when you find the right person. When you find the right person. Jerry is saying, you are not. Are you? I don't know what you're saying, Jerry. Maybe it's missed in translation. Summit is saying, how do you overcome harsh comments? You don't give any mind to what other people think of you. You get so confident that what people say or think matters not at all. Okay, y'all, it's been just about 45 minutes. I'm gonna sign off here. My name's Kiana Sage. I come on here every day for this Being in Sync 366 video series. This is a video series dedicated to the natural laws, having solid practices that are in alignment with you developing your inner congruence. Embodiment was the topic today. If you missed it, please go back to the beginning where I start talking about embodiment and what it is and how to start to incorporate it into your life. Thank you so much for your time and your attention and your participation. Okay, thank you, Kiana, for your passion and insights. Always a privilege to hear you. Sadly, I must okay, all right, thank you so much. I'm saying goodbye. Jerry is saying I am the embodiment of a strong modern woman. Oh, this is a compliment. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Ankush. Thank you, Eric. Thank you all for watching. If you watched on the replays, thank you so much. Leave a comment so I know you're here. Have a great day. Bye.